Good morning, everyone. I'm Louis, and this is Ghost's awesome song 20s. We'll be singing in a rain of pennies. In the 20s, we'll be soaring in the skies of pennies. When Ghost released 20s as a single, people went crazy on how awesome the song was and how different it was, especially from anything else Ghost had released. And even Trey Xavier from Gear Gods said this.
It's like symphonic reggaeton. What?
But then I found an interview from Tobias Forge talking about how he came up with the idea for the song 20s.
On Swedish television was this reportage about a Brazilian, I believe, rapper or Brazilian artist. It was like one of the most musically aggressive things I've ever seen. Immediately when I heard that, it was like, of course I had heard the rhythm before, boom, ba boom, ba boom, ba boom, ba.
And I thought, he's probably talking about this. So what is it? What is the 20s beat? Let's find out. When you have the more traditional, let's say, rock beat, you have the snare and the kick drum all on the beat. So it sounds like this. And some examples are and but watch what happens when I do a little syncopation of the first snare. I'm gonna play the first snare a little off the beat. Everything else stays in place. See what happens with the groove. See how it's much different. And with that, you have the 20s Ghost beat. There are a couple of extra details added as the double bass, but basically that is the beat. And where does it come from? Well, one of the earliest examples of this beat I found in the Brazilian rhythm called Baião, which is in itself a mixture of African and Portuguese rhythms that sounded groovier, much more danceable. And this is one classic example of Baião. So listening to the original, you notice that the instruments that are played, they are not a traditional drum kit. It's basically just one percussive instrument called zabumba, but the way he plays the zabumba is the same pattern, a little off beat, and then the other two hits on the beat. So in that case, I played the snare and then two bass because this is how they play it, but the pattern is pretty much the same. And you see this type of rhythm in other musical styles. For example, or and of course was Ghost the first rock band to try this beat? Definitely not. Or and you can even see this beat here. This groove, which goes way back, it's not necessarily something new, but it's definitely something that has influenced many different styles And you can see that because it's so danceable, and that's why it's so catchy, and that's why it's so inspiring. So I hope this video was informative and entertaining. I want to thank my good buddy Felipe Nestor, the drummer from my band Crucifa, who helped me figure out how this pattern works and figure out the theory behind the 20s beat. And if you like it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more, share it with your friends and with Ghost fans, and I'll see you very soon. Thank you very much for watching, and to all,